Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of College Hockey Talk. On today's podcast, I'm joined by a very special guest. Freshman from the UNH women's hockey team, Ciara Wall, joins the show today. Ciara, thank you so much for coming on, and how's everything going?
Thank you so much for having me. It's going good. How about you?
I'm doing well, like I was just telling you earlier before the recording. You know, the weather's starting to get nicer. Playoff hockey's starting up as well, so I'm in a good mood. And obviously, the semester is done for myself, and I know it's done for you. So things are doing well for my in my end.
Yep, awesome.
How are things with you, especially since your semester ended this past weekend?
It's good. It's fine. It's like a weight's lifted off my shoulder. I can finally just relax a little bit with school.
Now, I mentioned in the intro that you're a freshman. However, do you now consider yourself a sophomore since your freshman year is over?
I kind of think of maybe doing like a fifth year, so maybe I'm a freshman still. Maybe I haven't decided, so I'm kind of just gonna consider myself a sophomore until I decide.
Or you can call yourself a COVID sophomore. I don't know if
Yeah.
that works. Like it's like since you might have that fifth year. So that's I've heard other players say that. Some people are calling themselves baby sophomores. I don't know if you like that name, but that's I've heard different names regarding. It's gonna be interesting though the next 3 years regarding that fifth year.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, what are your off-season plans besides just hockey and training? What are you looking forward to do in the next few months?
Well, I live right on the beach, so I'm gonna lifeguard in the summer on the beach, so I'm looking forward to that. Just relaxing a bit, and also like training, working out. I'm probably gonna work out still with the school, like since I'm so close, and just getting on the ice a bit, stuff like that.
Nice, nice. Yeah, no, being a lifeguard is a very tough job. What's the training process for getting picked as a lifeguard? Because I can't do a backstroke, so that's why I could never be one.
You do a tryout. Mine's coming up in May, so I'm a little nervous because the water's still pretty cold. But for the tryout, you run 500 meters and swim half a mile, I think it is. And then you do like a whole, just getting ready, just some workouts and swimming and stuff like that, just to make sure you're fit for the to do the job.
Yeah, the one thing I love about lifeguards is they always look so cool whenever they're doing their job, and they're just sitting there doing nothing sometimes. And I always think they look cool, especially since you get to sit on that chair as well.
I know, yeah, I'm excited. Just it's pretty much you get paid to sit on the beach, but you do have a big responsibility. But it will be a fun job.
Definitely, definitely. Now, regarding hockey, what do you hope to work on for your game, and what do you hope to improve on the most heading into next season?
I'm gonna work a lot on my skating, just trying to get a bit like just a better stride, stuff like that. My shooting, um, just some of the basic stuff, just improve in those areas.
Definitely, definitely. And since the season ended a few months ago, what have you been up to since, hockey-wise or just anything-wise as well?
We were doing some spring lifting the past from once our season ended. We ended, I think, spring lift last week, so I was doing that for a while. And now I came home 2 days ago. I moved out of the dorm and I'm home now, so I'm pretty much just settling back home for a couple of days, and then I'm gonna get back to working out and stuff like that.
Is it weird being home because this year I know a lot of you guys couldn't go home for Christmas and the holidays. So is it weird being back home after being far away for such a long time? I know you're kind of close by to the campus, but for other players, it seems like they've been there for like 8 months.
I know, especially like the girls on my team that are from Canada, like they haven't been home. No one could go home for Christmas. Thanksgiving, no one could go home. I even couldn't go home, and I just to be safe,
Hmm.
um, because my mom works with COVID patients, so I didn't go home at all. So just to be safe, I didn't go home for Christmas. I hadn't seen my family. First time I saw them was Easter, so it was really tough, but I finally am able to see everyone again, which is so nice.
And how do you mentally deal with that, like being far away from home, not being able to see your family? I know you get to like FaceTime and do all that stuff, but it's just a little bit different not seeing them in person.
Yeah, exactly. Like on Christmas, I'm in my dorm and I'm FaceTiming my family, and it's just so hard to even like FaceTime because you just see them all together and stuff like that. But my parents were really good. They always like calling me, FaceTiming. They're so close. They would like drop off my gifts. and so I'd get them because they're close enough to do that. But especially for some of the other girls, it was really tough. And my roommate, she's from North Dakota, so she was so far, and it was really tough for them.
Yeah, definitely. And what'd you guys do for Christmas, I guess, as a team since you couldn't be home with your families?
We had a team dinner on Christmas Eve. We all got together, had a dinner, made gingerbread houses at that dinner. Our coaches were really great about it. They set up the whole thing. And then on Christmas Day, we kind of just hung out together, like like me and my teammates, and um, yeah, we just hung out with each other, I guess.
Nice, nice. It's better than being alone for Christmas. So if
Yeah.
you have to look at it in a positive way, that's the way I try to look at it.
Yeah.
Who had the best gingerbread house? Was it you or was it someone else?
Um, I definitely not my group. I didn't really help a lot. I was eating all of the stuff instead. I'm trying to think who had the best. We were sitting in our like the houses we live in, so I think Annie Berry's house. I don't know if you know her, but her house with Maddie Truax and them, they had a good one.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm a terrible designer when it comes to those gingerbread houses. One, because I eat the stuff like you just said, but also it's tough to connect like the bread with like the frosting. Like I don't
Yeah,
know, it always falls apart every time like I try to build one.
exactly.
Well, I want to transition a little bit and talk about the beginning of your hockey career and work all the way up to where you are now with UNH. So you're from Stoneham, Massachusetts. Talk about growing up in Mass, the best state in the country, in my opinion, no unbiased opinion. And how'd you start playing hockey?
So I love Mass. Like I grew up there, and my dad, he played hockey growing up. He, started young and played in Somerville. He grew up in Somerville, and he played a year. He went to Merrimack for a year, played there, um, and then he went to Suffolk. And it's pretty much like my uncle played, my uncle, like all my uncles, my grandfather played. It's kind of just a family thing. So my dad, me and my two sisters, he put us all in hockey, and we all loved it. And then I started playing just for my town, and then I went to the Islanders, played there for a year, and then I went to the East Coast Wizards and played for a lot of my youth hockey there.
Yeah, and just talk about that New England hockey scene that you were a part of, because being a player in it, it's pretty special. For at least for myself, being a part of it, it was really special. But how was it like for yourself being a part of that New England hockey scene, especially the college hockey scene? Because we're very fortunate where there's so many schools in the New England area for college hockey, where all the best players or a lot of the best players go attend those schools and play hockey there.
Yeah, I think Mass is such a big hockey place. I have so many friends from Mass that are from hockey. Like most of my friends are from hockey, and just it's like a family there. Everyone pretty much, it's kind of like everyone knows everyone, and everyone looks out for each other. It's a great community in hockey in New England.
Yeah, and who was your favorite player growing up? Was it someone on the Bruins or was it a women's hockey player from the national team?
Um, I've always been like a big Bruins fan, so I have to go with like Patrice Bergeron. He's just a great all around player.
Definitely, definitely agree with you on that.
I
Now,
also like
before you
Taylor.
and oh yeah, no, he's
Taylor
from here too, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's why I really like him.
Oh, did you ever get to? Have you ever gotten the chance to meet him before?
I was walking around Boston and I saw him walking his dog, and I knew it was him, and I just went up to him and I said, "Hey, I'm a big fan of you." And like I took a picture with him, and he was so nice. He actually told me like he saw I had a Boston Junior Eagle shirt on, and he was like, "They were my rival, growing up playing." It was funny, but yeah, he was so nice.
That's awesome. That's a great story. Now, before UNH, you played for the Boston Junior Eagles, but you also played for Worcester Academy as well. Just talk about getting the opportunity to play for that prep school and how'd you get that opportunity to go there?
Yeah, so I started off at Matnon High School in Cambridge, and I played there for my freshman year. My sister went there too, so we played together. My dad was the coach there, and I played there for 2 years, freshman sophomore year, and then I started looking at colleges, and a lot of schools wanted me to repeat a year, go to like a prep school for better, some better competition, and repeat like my sophomore year. And so one of my good friends from Charlestown, like Michaela Sindora, she plays at Northeastern. Um, she went to Worcester Academy, and her and my dad are good friends, and he was just like talking to my dad about me going there and playing with her. And I looked at the school. I really liked it, and I got in. And I was a bit nervous to board there and not be with my family, but my dad, he talked me into like doing it, and I joined the team there, and I don't regret it. It was great. I loved it.
Now, did you have to do an extra year of high school because you went to Worcester Academy, or did that all work itself out?
I did repeat my sophomore year when I went to Worcester Academy, and so I did 2 sophomore years.
And how was that? Because that seems like you kind of know all the stuff going into your sophomore year again. Like, how was repeating another grade, I guess?
I liked it. Like I wish I repeated my freshman year just because coming in as a sophomore, like everyone's already friends in your grade. But I was able to become friends with people, but it was a bit. I wish I repeated freshman year, but I kind of like I got like a little more time to develop and stuff like that.
Nice. Well, when you look back at your time with Worcester Academy, what's your overall favorite memory with that school?
Um, my favorite memory is just kind of just living there and being so close with my teammates just because we all lived together in the dorms, and it was mainly the whole team that lived there. And we had some I really loved my first year there. That's probably my favorite. Just I was playing with like Michaela Sindoris and some of my like friends I grew up with playing in Charlestown. So yeah, that was probably my favorite memory, that first year there, and just playing with some people I grew up with.
And you also played with the Boston Junior Eagles, and you won a national championship with that team. Talk about playing with the Junior Eagles and just that whole experience that you had.
Yeah, I thought like I played Wizards for a bit, and then I wanted to go somewhere a bit closer. So I went to Boston Junior Eagles, and I had a great experience there. I think I played there for 4 years. All my teams, I loved every team I was on there. I met like a ton of people that now play in Hockey East with me. So it was great. Like especially the year we won the Nationals, that was great as well.
Yeah, and I was looking through that roster. You played with Jess Cherokee, who I'm good friends with because of this podcast. What was she like as a teammate, both
Yeah,
on and off the ice? Because she was telling me how she had to travel from Pennsylvania all the way to Boston just to play those games.
yeah. Her and a couple other girls would travel from the Hill School to our games on the weekend, which was crazy to me because I would just drive 15 minutes to our games, and they'd be like trekking from Pennsylvania. But Jess is so funny. Like she was a great teammate. I miss her a lot. I haven't seen her since we were playing together at Boston Junior Eagles. But maybe next year if we play Penn State, that would be good to reunite with some of those girls.
Definitely. And Penn State's hosting the Frozen Four next year, so maybe you can meet through
Oh
that
yeah,
way.
yeah, that's the goal. Frozen Four. I'm excited for next season.
Definitely. Now, how did those experiences with the Boston Junior Eagles and with Worcester Academy help prepare you for college hockey with UNH?
Uh, like playing Boston Junior Eagles, especially my last year there. I think like before COVID hit that year, it really got me ready. Just just learning just to play like the right. You need to play like make the right plays, stuff like that. And I had coaches I'd never had, and they were they were tough, but they got my hockey IQ higher and stuff like that.
Now, doing research on yourself, you played multiple sports in high school. You played lacrosse and field hockey. How did playing other sports help your hockey development heading into college?
I think I loved playing all sports. It's kind of weird this year, just like after hockey ended, I felt like lacrosse was supposed to be coming up for me, but um, I thought it was great to just learn different games, and you kind of get stuff out of it, even though like it's not hockey. You kind of like learn stuff from the other games, and you can contribute it to hockey. Like field hockey, I loved it. Kind of like hand-eye coordination, stuff like that, just in a different way.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like lacrosse is somewhat similar to hockey with the hand-eye coordination, but also with the passing and the shooting. Since you have to really rip it when you play lacrosse
Yeah,
and hockey, it's kind of similar. You have to kind of rip it to get the puck to move fast and get by the goalie.
yeah, exactly.
And does also playing other sports help you not get burnt out with one sport? Because that's something I hear a lot is a lot of athletes advocate for younger kids to play multiple sports growing up just so they won't get burned out with another sport that they like to play.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Like, I I would love lacrosse just because I'd be kind of burnt out from hockey playing it. Even though it's not a fall sport in high school, I would play it in the fall with the Eagles, and I'd be playing it in the summer. And spring was kind of the only time I didn't play it as much. And like lacrosse was such a nice. I didn't have to stress so much about like some stuff, and I could just kind of play a different sport, and it was nice. I agree with that.
Now, what was your recruitment process like, and why did you choose to go to UNH?
So after my sophomore year at Matanon, in the summers I was kind of looking at some schools, and I toured UNH and I really loved it. And the rink, I love the rink, and the school I've like been familiar with it for a bit because I grew up around here. And I toured the school and they kind of told me that they were really happy I was going to Worcester Academy in the fall, and they were like very happy about that. And they said they'd be watching me. And I um I had a tournament in one of my games was at UNH, and Coach Witt, she went and watched, and then I think she watched a couple others, and then I got an offer to commit there, and I was like 100% I want to go there, and I didn't even like think twice about it.
Yeah, just talk about the campus at UNH because I've never been there before, but it looks awesome to say the least.
Yeah, I love it. There's kind of like a downtown part where there's a couple stores, and then there's the rink where I spend most of my time. And then the whole campus is super nice. All the buildings for classes are like really nice. And I lived in a dorm kind of in the center of campus, so I was close to everything. The food's great. We have a great workout facilities, all that type of stuff.
Now, what was the biggest adjustment you had to make to college hockey? Was it the speed of the game, the mental side of the game, since you're making quicker decisions, or since you're a UNH hockey player playing at the Whittemore Center, since the ice surface it's a lot larger than other ice surfaces in college hockey?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest adjustment was the speed. I remember just like going out and it was just kind of like a lot quicker, it felt like. But once you kind of get a couple games in, you adjust. And the ice itself is big, and I love it. Like I like it big, so it is an adjustment, but I also like think it was a good adjustment because I love playing on a nice wide surface because I'm a winger. Like I play left wing, so it gives me a little more space. So
Hmm.
I do like the wide ice.
And how do you transition from the Whittemore Center to other smaller arenas like the one in Merrimack or Yukon's? Because I feel like that can be kind of an adjustment for some players, especially for younger players like yourself, since you haven't experienced that before.
Yeah, I did feel like a bit when I'd go out on the ice, and especially when we'd be shooting from the blue line in warm-ups, I'd be like, wow, I'm so much closer. This is so weird. So I did think that was a bit, it's nice having the big rink when you're at home, but then when you go away, it's kind of like, oh, I don't have enough room. I need to think quicker. I need to make the pass quicker. So you kind of just got to adjust like right away. Like you got to just adjust in the moment.
Now, what's your favorite road arena to play in?
I really like Providence.
That's a
I
nice
love
rink,
that
yeah,
rink, and the BC rink. I like that one a lot too.
definitely. Now, thinking back to this past season, what's the biggest improvement you made to your game this past year?
I think just having a bit more confidence out there was a big thing. Coming in as a freshman, it's like, oh, I don't want to make a mistake. And then as the year went on, I gained a lot of confidence. Like I would, not be so hard on myself about like stuff. I just, go out there and play my game and not worry about it. Just gaining a confidence was probably my biggest thing this year.
Now, your team had to deal with some schedule changes throughout the entire regular season. How did you mentally stay prepared for all the changes and postponements that happened to your schedule? And how did you prepare for opponents this year, not knowing who you're going to play until the Tuesday before the weekend?
Yeah, that was tough. I kind of like knowing who we're gonna play, but obviously with COVID, one team could get COVID and you could be playing a different team right on the spot, like they'll just tell you. So we had like times where our games just got canceled and we weren't playing anymore, and it's pretty disappointing. Like thinking the next like the day, oh, I'm supposed to be at Providence right now. But we did play a lot of games, which was the most important part, and I think like we're really lucky we even got to play. So but it was hard with the random, changes. Like, oh, now we're playing Holy Cross this day. Now we're playing this team this day and stuff like that.
And just talk about what it's like playing in Hockey East, and great conference, in my opinion, one of the best conferences in college hockey. And just what's it like being a player playing against that competition on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I love Hockey East. I think it's like every team is good, so you have to come to play every single game. And I think I'm just lucky to be like part of it. Like a lot of people like dream of being in Hockey East, and I'm getting to play in there, and it's great. I'm really happy about being able to play in that conference.
Now, your team had some success throughout the regular season. You beat the number 8 team in the country in Boston University. You also beat the number 10th team in the country in Providence as well. And you obviously beat Northeastern in a shootout. How did those type of wins help your team heading into the postseason? And how important were those wins during the regular season, in your opinion?
Those games were super important because it got us, like confident, we can beat anyone. Like especially we beat like Northeastern in the shootout, they went to the finals of the national tournament. So it's like anyone can beat anyone really. It got us our confidence, like we were just excited, it got our excitement up, and it was great for us.
Now, what was going through your mind when Paige got that shootout goal against Northeastern? Because you guys kind of went crazy on the bench after she scored that goal.
I know. They said, "Oh, Paige go," and I had a feeling like she was gonna score. And then I kind of get in shootouts I can't watch, so I'm kind of just waiting for the sound, and then everyone just starts like screaming on the bench, and I think I don't know, I went right up to Paige after and gave her a big hug, and everyone was super happy after that one.
Now, you played Holy Cross in the playoffs. However, you guys were in quarantine before that playoff game even happened. How did you like prepare for that team not having any on ice practices? Because I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, that was a crazy time. We all went to quarantine. Someone on our team got COVID right after the Northeastern, I think game. Yeah, the Northeastern, and so we all went into quarantine because we were all on the bus together, all in the locker room together. We're all close contacts, and we didn't skate for 10 days. And we got out the morning of the Holy Cross game. We were all getting out of quarantine, and like getting all our stuff out of the dorm, like the quarantine dorm, and then we had some workouts we did in our little rooms, and there was a little outside place for like running that we would try to get some outside time and sprints and stuff like that just to keep our legs, in shape enough for like a playoff game, which is like our most important game of the year where we can't get ready the way we want to, but we made the most of what we could work with. So, and obviously it worked out enough for us. So that was
Mhm.
good.
And how do you try to stay sane when you're in that quarantine because you're in your room by yourself? Like, I would go crazy if I were in that situation.
Yeah, I definitely was not, I was kind of not getting a little like it was getting crazy for me just like being in the same room every day. We couldn't see each other because it wasn't allowed to like because one of us like since we're all in close contacts, one of us could have had it, but we couldn't see each other. I didn't see any human contact. I could see people outside, which was probably the best part of my days. But yeah, it was crazy. I hope that never happens again to anyone, but yeah, it was crazy.
Now let's talk a little bit about that game against Holy Cross because your team played fantastic. You get Siobhan Schroeder got that early goal in the first
Yeah.
period, 10 minutes in to kind of set the tone for your team offensively. Just talk about that game. What did you take away from it? And just what was it like getting your first ever playoff win?
I was super nervous for that game just because it's my first playoff game, but we kind of got on them early, and I think it's super important to get the first goal, and we got the first two. So in the first, I think, and yeah, that Siobhan and we had a line of freshmen, so it was like Siobhan, Nicole Kelly, Brianna Brooks, and they really stepped up in that game, and they kind of got us going, and we just got away with the win, which was great.
You then played Northeastern the following weekend. Talk about that game. What did you take away from it? Because in my opinion, I thought the score didn't really reflect on how close that game actually was.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think we needed to capitalize on our early chances basically, and we didn't. And then the game just got away from us. And that Northeastern team, like once they get rolling, it's like they're just you can't. It's hard to stop them, and they did get rolling a bit, and yeah, it wasn't obviously the outcome, but I think I learned a lot. You gotta just um, you gotta play your best from the very beginning, and in those type of games, you need to capitalize when you can. Like when you get the chance, it needs to go in, and especially against a team like that.
Now, how was playoff hockey different from regular season hockey in your experience?
I think that everyone just comes to play like even more. Like people will just like you'll be seeing like maybe like people like diving, to block shots, like stuff like that. Like people do that in the regular season, but it's just like a little more, a little more intensity and stuff like that. Everyone's playing with all their heart out there.
Now, obviously, this year's playoffs was single elimination. Do you think that changed your team's like mindset in the playoffs versus if it wasn't like if it was like a series, like a 3 game series?
Yeah, I think in 3 game series it's harder to have like upsets, and I think single eliminations. I think I kind of like it because it's the team that comes to play that game. You can't take a game off. Like in a 3 game series, you could take a game off and still win. So I liked the single elimination. Just I like to see like, like you get one chance and you gotta bring it when you have the chance.
Now, something that was introduced to college hockey this year was 3-3 overtime. As an offensive player like yourself, what was it like having more space in the ice and having more offensive opportunities in those overtime situations?
Yeah, I love 3-on-3s. You There's just a lot more room for creativity out there. Um, I hope they keep it like that. I really liked it, and yeah, I think it was a great change to the overtimes.
Yeah, and you have to like stay defensively minded in those situations because if you make one little defensive error, it can cause an odd man rush for the other team.
Yeah, exactly. Like I remember we played Northeastern in that overtime, and you had like Mueller. She's kind of quick, and you got to keep an eye on her, especially on 3-on-3, because she'll just sneak behind you, and it's only 3-on-3, so she's gonna get a lot of space out there.
Yeah, especially with the defensemen that Northeastern has because they're very offensive and they're very aggressive as well. And they can take advantage of those defensive errors in those 3-3 overtime situations and score some great goals. And I think that's why they're one of the best teams in the country, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, was it weird not playing in front of any fans this year and how did you adjust to that?
Yeah, it was weird. I'm used to having some people there, especially I think it was harder for my dad. He loves coming to my games, and I think it was like really tough for him having to watch all my games on TV or the computer. So, but yeah, I do love when fans are there. The support, it makes the atmosphere so much better. I'll be, I'm hoping we'll have fans next year, which will be great.
I think we will, especially with the news today that the mask mandate has been lifted in Massachusetts. I think it's by the
Yeah,
fall things should. I'm crossing my fingers that things should be somewhat normal again.
yeah,
I'm hoping. I know you're hoping too.
yeah, definitely.
Now, did the cardboard cutouts make any difference? Because some players said they didn't notice them. Other players said they did notice them. As a fan, I did notice them at least UNH because I think UNH and BC, you guys had like a tons of cardboard cutouts. Like it really kind of made a difference watching the game. I don't know if you noticed them at all.
Yeah, I did like them a lot. I don't know if I didn't notice them as much like too much, but I always like I knew my grandfather had a cutout out there. Like my parents, my my dog was up there. Stuff like that. Like um, I think it was great. I could just look up sometimes and try to find them. I liked it a lot, honestly.
That's awesome. Well, when you look back on this past year, what do you take away from it, and what are some of your goals and expectations for next season after playing your first year in college hockey?
I think the experience, just having like a year of experience is perfect. Like for me, just now I'm not as nervous for next season. I know everyone on my team except the new people coming in, but now I'm familiar with like how people play, stuff like that, and I think just working on just the fundamental stuff, just improving everywhere I can is going to be important for me.
So we're now in a segment I like to call the non-hockey segment, where I ask you some non-hockey questions about yourself and for your teammates as well. So My first question to you is if you could have lunch with anyone in the world, who would it be and why?
Um, I think I would want to have lunch with Herb Brooks. I've
Mhm.
always like looked up to him, like just I think he's like such a great coach, and I just would love the chance to talk with him.
I would love to too, but I'll be afraid he would bag skate me if I like mess up something. So that would be the one part of the lunch that would be tough for me. But I'll do it because he's a great coach.
Yeah,
Is Miracle your favorite movie? Because I know I'm a hockey guy, but that's definitely mine. And it always makes me tear up when they beat the Soviet Union, and then he goes in the lot. He goes like in the outside of the arena. And he's just like, yes,
yeah,
like it's a
I
great
know,
scene. If that doesn't give you chills, I don't know what will.
I know, and yeah, that is my favorite movie. I've watched it so many times.
That's awesome. Well, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Um, uh, I think well, my sister does this, so this is probably why, like chewing your gum loudly.
Mhm.
My sister does it, and then I yell at her, and then she just does it louder to make me annoyed. But yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah. For myself, slow drivers, bad drivers, it's all in the same category. You know it as well as I do.
Yeah,
When you're in Massachusetts, there's a lot of them and it can really tick me off. So
yeah,
that's
that
my
too.
biggest pet peeve. Now, what's been your favorite class you've taken so far in college?
Um, I'm undeclared, so I've just been taking a lot of different types of stuff, and I took a criminology class this past semester, and I really liked it. It was super interesting, and I loved learning about like the type of stuff that we did.
And what music do you like to listen to on a general basis?
Um, I kind of like throwback music, some like 2000 stuff, but I also like the pump up music in the locker room. I'm kind of like all over the place with music. I'll listen to anything, that's on the radio.
Nice. Which arena had the best warm up mix besides UNH, obviously?
Um, I think UConn had a pretty good one, I think. Yeah, probably them.
Nice. Now, speaking of your teammates, who is the funniest teammate you have at UNH?
Um, Tamara Theoris, she's hilarious. Like she's so funny. It wouldn't be the same without her.
Who is the best trash talker on the team? Who draws the most penalties?
Siobhan Truder or Nicole Kelly, probably one of those two.
Nice. What's the type of stuff do they say?
Um, I never played with either of them on the ice, but I know Nicole Kelly and Alina Mueller would always go at it. Like they'd be talking to each other, and I don't know what they were saying, but
Yeah, no, Leah Mueller, she seems like she's very quiet on the ice, just from a fan perspective, because she's just always dangling and scoring goals. So
yeah,
that's pretty crazy that she got to talk to her.
I know. I think she is pretty quiet, but I think Nicole like kind of get got her under her skin a bit and made her a bit mad.
Now, one thing I admire about your team is how great you all are at hockey, but another thing I admire is how good of styles you guys have. You have one of the best styles. You have one of the most stylish teams in college hockey, in my opinion. So, who has the best style on the team?
Um, I think I'd have to go with like some of the freshmen that came in, like Siobhan Truder, Brianna Brooks. Some of them they have good style. Yeah, I think we all do, but yeah, some of them they have good style stuff. Yeah. Oh, actually, Maddie Truex has really great game day outfits, and so does Avery Myers. Those two have had some of the best game day outfits I've seen.
How do you guys like plan that stuff out? Because as a boys hockey player, it's really simple. You just put on the suit. But I feel like for women's hockey players, it's a little more complicated since you have more options to choose from.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that just throws on a sweater and some black pants and goes. But Avery was actually my roommate, and she had like some crazy like stuff, like some cool stuff she'd wear. She'd always have some sunglasses on, walking in.
Nice.
Um, yeah, she really went all out with her game day outfits, and yeah, people kind of try to mix it up and put on some different stuff.
Yeah, look good, feel good, especially for Avery Myers because she's scoring a ton of goals in hockey, and she
Yeah,
was one of my favorite players to watch this year. So that's awesome.
yeah, it is.
Now, what is your favorite social media app in your opinion?
TikTok. Probably. I
Nice.
love TikTok.
Nice. What do you make videos at all? I don't. I make videos for the podcast, but I'm not good at it, so I need some advice. So do you make videos?
Yeah, I do make videos. Like I'll just, ran if I randomly just feel like making them sometimes, and I'll just be like, all right, I'm making a TikTok. But yeah, I kind of just do like random type of videos. But some girls on my team, like Emily Rickwood, she's
Oh, I
great
know.
at TikTok. Like I always get hyped up when I make the feature on her page. I'm like getting a lot of followers from her. But yeah, TikTok's definitely is my favorite app.
Nice. How do you make videos on it? And I sound like an old man, but I have no clue. It's so hard. Like, I don't know, like you have to find the sound, like the text, the transitions are impossible. I haven't made a video in like 3 months because I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm not going to embarrass myself. So I've been like looking up videos. Like, it's embarrassing, like how much I don't know what I'm doing on that.
Yeah, it took me a while to get the hang of it, but you just like play around with it, you get the hang of it pretty quick. It's um finding like a good like the sounds are kind of tough sometimes, but like a good sound to do it with. But yeah, just keep working out and working on the TikTok, and you'll figure it out. It's I wish I had my phone near me, but yeah.
Have you ever gone viral before, or at least one of the videos done well?
Yeah, that's my goal to go viral at least once, but I haven't got viral yet. I was in a TikTok on Emily's where it got 500,000 views, and I was in it, so I'll consider that a a bit
Done.
of fame.
Nice, nice. Have any other teammates gone viral on the app? Because I know Emily Rickwood has, but I feel like I've been told others have, but I haven't seen anything. So
Yeah, Charlie Kettle, Siobhan, Truder, and Ray Breton, they did like kind of like on our picture day. They did a dance kind of on the ice, and that one did good. I think it got at least 500,000 views, and that one went viral. And Avery, she had a couple where she would record us walking in our game day stuff, like our what we were wearing on game day, and her first one did go viral. It got a lot, and it also I think um, one of the UNH Barstool things, not UNH Barstool, but one of the other ones posted it. So we were happy happy about that.
that's awesome. It also brings attention to your team, which is a good thing, especially for women's hockey.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. Do you guys plan to do like a YouTube channel or some sort, or like maybe have a documentary? Like I don't know if you remember before the Winter Classic, they used to follow like NHL teams before like the big game. And it was kind of cool because you kind of got like a behind the scenes of what it's like being an NHL player. Do you think
Yeah,
you guys would ever want to do something like that? I don't know if you can because of like university regulations, but I think that'd be cool to see.
yeah, that would be cool. I haven't really thought about that, but that's a great idea. I would love to see like our team do something like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. Who would be like the biggest character from that like documentary? Like who would get like like how there's always that one person from every documentary that people love. Who do you think would be that character, I guess?
Tamara Thuris. She would definitely. She's like she's the character of the team. So funny.
That's awesome. Well, let's get back to some hockey questions now. My first question to you is being a women's hockey player, you've been involved with the game for most of your life. What do you think should be done to help grow the game in your opinion?
I think, just bringing more attention to it, and like with the World Junior thing happening recently, like that just shows like we have so much more like room to grow. Like that was just, like that shouldn't happen. And I think we really like should get like a bit more, attention.
Now, what advice would you give a younger player who is trying to pursue a Division I college hockey scholarship?
I would say just keep working hard, and I think like just don't lose like the having fun with it. You just need to just have fun with it and work hard, and everything will just fall into place, and stuff like that.
Now, do you have a message for any of the UNH hockey fans that are listening to this podcast?
Um, I I just would say like thanks so much for supporting us and being fans for us. It means a lot, and I really hope that you guys will be able to come watch.
Definitely. Now, one thing we're doing with the podcast that next season, if they allow fans at games, is we're going to be trying to travel down to different universities and get like fan experiences. Should we go down to UNH women's hockey game? And what do you think we should do when we're down there?
Yeah, definitely come down, and yeah, that sounds awesome. Just like You guys should do like a parent thing, like my like just like the parents that are there, but and the fans, like that would be amazing, like to see like who's supporting us, like like put a face with the
Hmm.
like see some of the fans.
Awesome. Yeah, and definitely meet you guys in person too, because it's weird
Yeah.
doing these interviews through Zoom. And I'd love to meet the freshman class because you guys seem awesome.
Yeah, I love the freshman class. I love that there was 8 of us, and it's
Yeah.
like 8 immediate friends.
Yeah, definitely. Was it hard, like having such a big class, like transitioning into college hockey?
Yeah, I was kind of well, at first Avery, she like didn't commit till later. So at first it was 7 of us and I was the only one from the like from America, like US. And they were all from Canada. So in my head I was like, oh, they all know each other. They're already friends. Like I'm not gonna like they're not I don't know. I was just like very nervous, but they didn't really know each other. They were from different parts of Canada and some of them were like Brianna and Siobhan played together for like years, so they knew each other, but yeah, they were so nice and like right off the bat we all just like clicked and yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better class. They're like my best friends at school and it's great.
And how did the sophomores, juniors, and seniors help your transition to college hockey? Because they seem awesome as well.
Yeah, they're great too. Like I love our whole team and especially the sophomores were great to us. They were like Tam, Annie Berry, Ray and them. They were great. Always inviting us to their house just to get out of the dorm a bit and watch some like movies with them and just to get out of the dorms because we couldn't really go that many places during the season. So they were great.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we'll definitely make a plans to go to UNH next season if they allow fans. Do you know when the schedule's coming out for Hockey East? Because I know some conferences already released it, which seems pretty early to me. But
Yeah, that is early. I'm not sure. I'm hoping probably like early summer,
hmm
maybe. It'll be nice to have a like early start. We kind of had to wait a bit, but yeah, probably in summer, early summer, midsummer, I'd say.
yeah, that's awesome. Well, do you have any shout outs you like to make to any of your teammates, family members, friends, or anyone else? I know we mentioned almost the entire team throughout this interview, but if there's anyone I forgot to mention, feel free to shout them out now.
I'll shout out the seniors. They're graduating this week, and hope I really like loved all of them, and I'm gonna miss them a lot. So I'll give them a shout out.
Yeah, congrats to Julia Scammell, former podcast guest on graduating. I saw that. So just want to give her a shout out as well on my end.
Yeah,
Well, thank
definitely.
you so much for coming on the podcast, Sierra. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day and talking with me. It means a lot. I wish you all the best in the off season. Stay safe, enjoy the nice weather, and hopefully, like I said, I'll see your team play in person soon.
Yep. Thank you, and thanks so much for having me.